Hello, race fans, and welcome back to the More Freedom series. We have traveled to the Darlington Raceway for the Darlington 74. This is going to be race number 6 in the More Freedom series season 5, and the points race, just like the weather outside, is starting to heat up a little. So let's go through those points. Your points leader is the 666 of Pistol Pete. Second's going to be the 799 of Mike Check. Third will be the 77 of Zip. Fourth will be the 00 of Mudbone. Fifth will be the 51 of AJM. Sixth will be the 34 of Super Snake. Seventh will be the 88 of NM. Eighth will be the 710 of Roddy. Ninth will be the 8 of Moon Bunny. And rounding out your top 10 will be the 203 of Signs. Let's look at those team and chassis standings. Huge lead for Amish Buggy Racing. I feel like they're running away with the points championship this year. Second's going to be Douche Motorsports. Third will be MBR. Fourth will be Aces DZ Motorsports. And rounding out the top 5 will be Score Racing. Chassis standings are Dodge, Chevy, and Toyota. So that's a look at all things points here today for this Darlington 74. I think it's about time to get those cars dialed in. Fans are starting to file into the crowd, into the stands, and let's go racing. As they get these cars fired up, let's go through your starting top 10 today for this Darlington 74. Starting on the pole will be the 34 of Super Snake, and on his outside, the 00 of Mudbone. Starting third will be the 710 of Roddy, and on his outside, the 47 of Dash. Starting fifth will be the 300 of Resemble, and on his outside, the 66 of Hondo. Starting seventh will be the 38 of Aceman, and on his outside, the 14 of Liz. Starting ninth will be the 13 of King of the Aces, and rounding out your top 10, the 356 of Ice Cream Some Days. So let's look at your starting top 10 today for this Darlington 74. Again, Amish Buggy Racing has come out swinging this year and have put up huge numbers in the wins and points department. They've got four drivers in the top 10, and they've put 2 drivers on the pole today for this Darlington race in the form of the 34 and the 00. So Amish Buggy Racing, early going in the season, definitely is the team to beat, as the 34 of Super Snake will be leading us down to the green flag today. That beautiful orange and black Dodge Challenger pace car is in. They're coming off of turn 4 right now, headed down towards that green flag. Crowd is on their feet. They're going wild. The green flag is out. We're underway here at Darlington. The 00 of Mudbone on the outside gets a huge jump over the 34 of Super Snake. So Mudbone out to a quick lead. He is out to an amazing lead right now. He is multiple car lengths in front of the second place car now, the 34 of Super Snake. So 00 of Mudbone gets a huge jump on the rest of the field to start off this race. He's going to lead lap number 1 here at Darlington. Second's going to be possibly the 710 of Rod as he jumps down to the inside of the 34 of Super Snake. So I'm not sure what happened with Super Snake right there, but he definitely is off the pace a little bit here in the early going. We'll see if we can get down to the bottom of the track, make something happen here. But your leader, again, that 00 of Mudbone. Let's bring up your timing and scoring. As always, top 10 will be on your left. Your favorite driver scrolling across the top. Your leader, the 00 of Mudbone, out to a 1.3 second lead right now over the rest of the field. 2 laps in, he's got about a second and a half up over the rest of the field. Just an amazing jump. He's got 2 seconds up, as a matter of fact, over the rest of this field, over the 710 of Roddy and the 38 of Baseman. So Roddy moves into the second position after starting third here today, as Baseman down to his inside as we head into the turn. So turn 1 and 2 are normally the bottom of the track all around, or normally the bottom of the track in 1 and 2 are the way to go around, and you can get away with running the high line through 3 and 4, but it looks like possibly this track here today might have just the low line written all over it, as we're going to check in on where Super Snake has dropped way back here. He's all the way back to 9th position after the start of this race with the 47 a dash right there on his bumper going into turn 1. We see the 3 of Geek Girl Games has now moved into the top 10 after starting 13th. And a couple of teammates right here. The 95 is Zed Brunna and the 13 of King of the Aces after they were involved in a caution together last week. Running right here on the track with each other. No bad blood, I'm sure, between any of those drivers, as we see the 38 of Baseman has now moved the PV Chevy for Groovy Green Racing up to the 2nd position around the 710 of Roddy. He's going to try to run down your leader, that 00 of Mudbone. Still about 2 seconds up right now is the 00 of Mudbone. I'm just flabbergasted over the jump and the run that Mudbone got into turn 1 and Alpha turn 2 and down the backstretch. That car for Amish Buggy Racing, that he's hooked up here today, and he definitely needs, I mean, I was going to say he definitely needs a good run, but he's actually 4th in points. He's looking for what, win number 8 or something like that in the More Freedom Series. So he is, it's an amazing day for him so far. He's looking for win number 8 in the More Freedom Series for his career. And that would put him 2 up over 2nd place, the 356 Ice Cream some days. So Mudbone, he's losing a little bit of time now. The 38 of Basement trying to catch up here as we see the 95 of Zed Brunna around the 710 of Roddy. And we'll see if the 13 of King of the Aces tries to get around him as well. And here comes his teammate, the 14 of Liz. So Liz trying to catch up to that 710 of Roddy, get around him. She's going to try to catch up to the back bumper of that 13 of King of the Aces, who's going to get a little bit of a draft. So there is draft here at Darlington. We are running 150 miles an hour. Fastest lap right now is 149.036 by Baseman, who is running down your leader just a little bit, as we see the 13 of King of the Aces down to the inside of that 710 of Roddy. That top line might be working in a little bit here. We're going to see what Roddy does off the turn here. He's not going to get a great run. He's going to get a decent run down the front stretch, but I think that line in. So Darlington, each turn is different. So the turn 1 and 2 are different than 3 and 4. So I think right here, where in 1 and 2, you can't just be running that highlight. You could run it off of 3 and 4 and kind of stay with the person down on the inside, but 1 and 2 definitely doesn't happen, as the 14 of Liz has nothing around the 710 of Roddy. So we're going to watch and see what Mudbone, he's lost. Well, I say lost, but Baseman is now knocked off about 0.8 of a second off that lead of the 00 of Mudbone. So Baseman here, after 9 laps, is starting to run down the 00 of Mudbone. Mudbone just out here cruising right now. And we're going to see if he feels the heat from the 38 of Baseman and puts that hammer down. But awesome run so far by the 00 and the 38. The 95 is Zed Brunna, who's in 3rd position, still 3.6 seconds back of the leaders. So they've spread out a lot here on the track early going. As we see the 710 and gets around the 14, that's allowing the 47 a Dash to try to catch up here. Dash tries to jump down to the inside, loses a little bit of grip there. It's just a little bit of a greasy track, I feel like, here today at Darlington. They're slipping and sliding. You get out of that groove, and you're going to get into those marbles and get, like your tires are just going to get a little bit slick. As we see G3 moving up to the 7th position after, again, starting in the 13th position. We'll jump back here. There's the 29, a Wishbone Attack. He started in the 15th position. He's currently in the top 10, running 9th right there in front of the 420 of Queen of Hearts, who we're checking in where she started the day. She started back in 19th, so Queen has had a great car all year. She's been able to get up there to the front a lot through the first 4 races. She's had some, she's she's been the unlucky driver this season, I feel like, has been that 420 at Queen of Hearts. She gets up there, she races hard, and then something bad happens, like involved in an accident, bad pit stop, something, but her driving on the track has been nothing short of stellar. It's just all the other parts that need to come together, as we see the 356 of Ice Cream Some Days down to the inside of the 66 of Hondo. She's going to run him down into the turn here. Into 3 and 4 they go, off of 4. Here comes the 66, the 77 of Zip, and the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile is trying to come to my brain right there, down to the inside of that 66 of Hondo as well. So Hondo's going to lose 2 positions there for Douche Motorsports, as the 356 of Ice Cream Some Days, who finished 3rd earlier this week here at Darlington, moves up to the back bumper of the 420 at Queen of Hearts. She's going to work down to the inside of the 29 of Wishbone Attack. She's going to get, Ice Cream's going to give a little bit of bump to the 29, a little bit of a bump and run there on the 29 was that 356 of Ice Cream Some Days. That's going to allow the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile to work down to the inside of the Dunkin' Donuts car. Hondo's going to get a run as well through 1 and 2. We'll jump back up here. Here's your earlier this week winner. Again, the 3 of Geek Girl Games. He won here earlier this week in the IROC Series race. Spoilers if you hadn't watched. We'll catch up as we see the battle for the lead. Baseman has ran down your leader, the 00 of Mudbone. He is now around. After 14 laps, Baseman runs down the 00 of Mudbone, able to get around him, take that car, put it out on the lead. Mudbone right to the back bumper. He's not letting Baseman go. He's letting him know he's here right now. Maybe a little bit of a bump right there on Baseman. So Mudbone, after leading the first 15 laps, has now lost the lead to the 38 of Baseman, who ran him down from 2 seconds back, and they are now nose to tail through 1 and 2, heading off of turn 2. It is a great race for the lead now, as Zed Brunna has fallen 4 seconds back from these top 2 drivers. So what I thought was going to be a runaway victory by the 00 of Mudbone has stopped dead in its tracks, as the 38 of Baseman has taken over the lead here on lap 16. He has now led 2 laps here today. Yeah, we have 74 laps of hopefully green flag action here today at Darlington. And we haven't quite made it to the halfway point. We're only on lap 16. We got 56 laps to go, as Baseman is your leader. We'll jump back. We'll jump back through. Actually, let's go through the back of the field. We'll see what's hanging out here at the back, as we see the 666 of Pistol Pete, your points leader, currently running in the last position. Right there in front, right there behind the 40 of Veteran Chaos, who was last week's winner at Rockingham. So Vet currently running in the back today here at Darlington, with 3 of the front runners of the series, the 51, the 40, and the 666, all running way back here in the back. As a matter of fact, there's the 203 of Signs, who runs 10th in points. He's running back here behind the 49 of Jetman right now. He's actually ready to pass Jetman. Nope. Jetman able to pull around the outside right there, as we see Vet down to the inside of the 51 of AJM. So AJM back to the back of the pack now with Pistol. I always called him Zip. Pistol Pete now, maybe not. AJM runs him down on the outside right there, cuts him off into 3. So he's like, I'm not going to be last place here today on the track. I'll be second to last, but not last place. We'll keep jumping up through this field as we see the 11 of TC Roberts, who has just not had a fantastic year points-wise, as we see him running here in the back. Very, very British car for TC this year. Running right behind his countryman from Australia, the 799 of Mike Check. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, there's the 799 of Mike Check. Another front runner, the 8 of Moon Bunny, way back here in the back as well. As well as the 88 of NM, who's in the top 10. We'll keep jumping up through this field, see what's going on. Previous race winner right there, the 333 of Keeping It Twisted. She's running right there in front of the 999 of Deviant, they're also behind the 96 of Nico. On the track, this is the 20th position. As we see Mel Say What down to the inside of the 300 of Resemble. So Mel gives a little bit of a bump and run right there to the 300 of Resemble, as we see the 29 of Wishbone Attack has fallen back a little bit here. Catch back up here to the front as the 3 of Geek Girl Games now around the 710 of Roddy, setting her sights on that 14 of Liz. As the front 2 cars, the 38 of Baseman and the 00 of Mudbone, are relatively close on the track right now. A couple car lengths here and there between friends as we work lap number 22. Maybe 23. Yeah, we're working lap number 23, maybe 24. I don't know. We're working a lap right now. So 21, we're working lap number 22 because Baseman has led 7 laps and Mudbone has led 15 laps. We're counting them down till halfway with 51 laps to go here at Darlington. Your leader is the 38 of Baseman. Second's going to be that 00 of Mudbone. We'll check back here. We'll see where Zed is. There's Zed. Zed currently 6 seconds back to the leader, so we're running 37-second laps. And if my calculations are correct, because I'm looking at timing and scoring, we might have pit stops happening here. So the 38 of Baseman and the 00 of Mudbone working into the pits. So after 24 laps here today, Baseman and Mudbone are working down into the pits. We're going to follow them along here. We'll see what Baseman and Mudbone take for tires. We see there is the 95 of Zed Brunick coming into the picture as well. 77 of Zip. Not going to lead this lap, but he might lead the next one. He takes over the lead there as we see a couple drivers in. On the previous lap, it looked like the 3 of Geek Girl Games and the 14 of Liz. So right side tires and left side tires going on for the 38 of Baseman here on lap number 25. There's the 66 of Hondo is in. Baseman is down on the way. They're full of fuel and back going. We'll see where Mudbone has an amazing pit stop. He beats out the 38 of Baseman by a considerable margin. Wow, that is actually impressive. Almost a full straightaway between the 00 of Mudbone and the 38 of Baseman. Now, we know that there's other people going to be pitting here, so this is all important pit stops here early going. We got probably a 2-stop race, maybe 3-stop race for some of the drivers. We'll see. But we got at least a 2-stop race happening here today. 50. It's going to be close to a 3-stopper. As Mudbone works off the turn, I'm not sure if all these drivers are... These drivers are probably going to be a lap down, actually, thinking about it, because this is the back of the pack right here. So I think all these drivers are actually going to be a lap down, or they're going to be on the very end of the lead lap, as we see the 34 of Super Snake, your pole sitter, has fallen all the way back to the back of the pack as the 96 of Nico comes down and shuts the door on him here. So they're going to be racing to stay in front of this 00 of Mudbone and stay on the lead lap in case there's something that happens on the track. So Mudbone is going to be scored as your leader now. He is currently 3.8 seconds up over the 38 of Baseman. So an amazing pit stop by Mudbone puts him 3.8 seconds out over the 38 of Baseman, and they are trying their darndest to stay out in front of him right now. as we see the 51 of AJM right to his back bumper. I mean, literally on his back bumper. AJM is trying to get his lap back right now from the 00 of Mudbone. It might behoove him to just let that 51 go and just race his race. As we work towards halfway, he's going to drag race down the front stretch here with the 51 as they head into the turn 1. Again, that low line through turn 1 is the preferred line, as we'll see the 203 of Signs and his teammate and points leader, the 666 of Pistol Pete, trying to get his lap back as well. So Mudbone mired in traffic right now with all these lappers trying to get their lap back from him as they work underneath him through 3 and 4. So they've all lined up nose to tail basically to try to get their laps back here on the 00 of Mudbone as they head down the front stretch into 1. He is able to get around, stay out on the outside of the 203 of Signs, get a good run on him, able to keep his car out in front, keep these guys a lap down. I mean, you're talking about some really good drivers here. You got the 203, the 666, the 8, and the 40, and all top 10 drivers as of right. Well, Vet's got to win. He's got to win this year. So, I mean, that counts for something. He might not be top 10 in points, but he does have a win this season. And Moon Bunny currently running a nice. She's had some excellent runs this year so far. But Mudbone able to get away from the 203 of Signs. He's going to try to track down and put a lap on the 51 of AJM here when he can, as his AJM's teammate and brother, the 96 of Nico, currently running in the 31st position. So not a great season so far for Nico. He is back in 30th in points. I'm not sure. Maybe, too much True Moo has just... apparently, the sponsor is just holding the car back. It's a good-looking car, though, for the 96 of Nico. So we see the 8 of Moon Bunny does get around the 203 of Signs. We'll try to catch up to the 38 of Baseman, as it looks like the 95 of Zed Brunna has caught up almost to that 38 of Baseman. The 11 of TC Roberts is going to be a lap down here. So that is Aces to Zed Motorsports in the form of the 95 and the 11. We'll see if the 11 can push the 95 up and try to catch up to that 38 of Baseman. I mean, he's pushing him. He's almost literally pushing him into turn 1 as the 38 of Baseman, again, second place. They're running about 5.9 seconds back from your leader, the 00 of Mudbone. Mudbone having led 22 laps here today. Just to point out, the fastest lap of the day is now by the 34 of Super Snake at 149.498. That might have been the fastest. He might have had that earlier, but if he didn't, he has it now. So the 95 is Zed Brunna now finally, with the help of, oh no, Baseman shuts the door. Thought he was too close. Slides up the track. That's going to open the door for possibly the 14 of Liz. As the 95 is Zed Brunna able to get around that 38 of Baseman. Following him is going to be the 11 of TC Roberts. He's going to try to put a car between second and third here, as they're trying to catch up to the 00 of Mudbone, who is 6.4 seconds up over the 95 of Zed Brunna, as Liz pushing the 11 of TC Roberts through the turn. She's going to move up to the third position in front of the 38 of Baseman. So Baseman with the early run for Baseman into the pit stop. He had an amazing car. Maybe the tire's just not the same here on the second run, the second stint, as it were. As we see the 8 of Moon Bunny able to get up and pass the 00 of Mudbone. Mudbone currently putting the 96 of Nico a lap down. So Nick not having a fantastic day here today at Darlington. He's been skunked out in wins for a little bit here in the More Freedom Series, and I know he wants to get back into victory lane, as we see a bunch of MBR cars back here in the back of the pack. The 51 of AJM around his... Whoa, Mudbone. Mudbone off the pace. Mudbone is off the pace, folks. We might have just seen the 00 of Mudbone blow up with a 7.5 second lead over the 95 of Zed Brunna. We're going to follow him around the track. This is a huge, it's just huge. I don't even know what to say. This is detrimental to that 00 of Mudbone. We saw him pull left off the track in front as he was trying to put all those cars a lap down, and he's working down the backstretch. He's going to try to get into the pits here. Want to see what is wrong with the 00 of Mudbone. Hopefully just a flat tire. But I feel like his day after that is going to be done, as far as going to the win of this race, as he makes the long drive down pit road towards his pit stall way down here at the end. So the 00 of Mudbone with a 7.5 second lead has pulled off the track. He's running through the pits right now. And we're going to see what they do here in his pit stall. So must have been a flat tire for the 00 of Mudbone. They're going to put 4 on. He's got right side tires on. He's got left side tires going on. So we'll see if he pulls out of the pits here. Fuel going in. So not sure what happened to that 00 of Mudbone. We will catch back up to him. We're going to catch up to your leader, who is now the 95 of Zed Brunna, as Mudbone still sits in the pits. Your leader on the track is the 95 of Zed Brunna, so heartbreak in the pits for the 00 of Mudbone as he still sits there, I do believe. We'll find out if he comes back out on this track or not. They're probably working under the hood to see what's wrong with that vehicle as the 95 of Zed Brunna works down the front stretch here. So Zed is your leader. We'll go through your top 10 right now as we have now crossed halfway. I believe your leader at halfway would have been the 00 of Mudbone. We'll go through your current top 10. Your leader is the 95 of Zed Brunna. Second is going to be the 14 of Liz. That 11 car TC Roberts is a lap down, so Mudbone is able to come back out. So he is back out on the track, folks. He's 2 laps down to your leader, the 95 of Zed Brunna, and he's got fresh tires on that mellow yellow Dodge for Amish Buggy Racing, and he is going to be able to basically drive around a lot of these drivers here today, as we're going to watch him to the back bumper of the 11 of TC Roberts with those fresh tires. If he can catch a caution flag, that would be the best thing for him, because he could possibly get his lap back during that caution. He's actually going to be scored 3 laps down now to your leader, the 95 of Zed Brunna. So Mudbone 3 laps down. He currently runs in the last position. So it must have been, I'm not sure what was wrong with the car. They put on 4 tires, probably had to work under the hood. Maybe ignition, maybe, spark plug. We don't know. So your leader, the 95 of Zed Brunna. Second's going to be the 14 of Liz Has Nothing. Third will be the 38 of Baseman. Fourth will be the 3 of Geek Girl Games. Fifth will be the 47 of Dash. Sixth will be the 13 of King of the Aces. Seventh will be the 710 of Roddy. Eighth will be the 420 of Queen of Hearts. Ninth will be the 66 of Hondo. And rounding out your top 10 right now will be the 77 of Zip. So Amish Buggy Racing still represented here in the top 10 with 77 of Zip. And the 60 of Garrett Miller, who has been kind of flying under the radar this year. And he's currently running 28th in points. So Zip, who runs 3rd in points, is going to get a little bit of help by the 660 as they go into turn 1. He's going to make that pass on the 66 of Hondo, who's going to go back to 11th position, I do believe, and might allow the 25 of JTM for MBR, who we haven't talked much about JTM this season. He's having a decent year so far. I mean, I wouldn't say decent year. He's currently running 34th in points. But he needs a little bit of luck here as we work through the season, move up in those points. As we see the 47 of Dash making a run here on the 3 of Geek Girl Games for the 4th position. So Dash is going to take over 4th from the 3. We'll jump back up here to the front. As the 14 of Liz has now worked around the 11 of TC Roberts, she's going to set her sights on the 95 of Zed Brunna. So Liz, rookie on the season for Scorer Racing, is trying to get a dub for that team here. Liz and Roddy, I feel like, are just holding down everything for Scorer Racing. They currently run 5th in the points, 1 point behind Aces to Zed Motorsports, and I think most of those points have been by Liz and Roddy. As she has broken away from the 11 at TC Roberts, she's going to set her sights on the 95 of Zed Brunna as we check in on the 00 of Mudbone, who is able to get one of his laps back right now. He's back to the back bumper of the 49 of Jetman, and he has got a long road to hoe if he's going to catch up and make up 2 more laps. I mean, it is possible here if he can get some good pit stops, as we only have 28 laps to go. So we're going to see pit stops happening very shortly for these drivers here. They pitted on lap 24-25. So I would say in the next 3 to 5 laps, you're going to see some pitting here. As we see the 14 of Liz now to the back bumper, that 95 of Zed Brunna. She is right on his bumper down into the turn. Has to woe up just a little bit. I think she was trying to make that move. Just the draft just sucked her up to the back bumper of the 95 of Zed Brunna. Had to get out of the gas just a hair. TC teammate to that 95 of Zed Brunna, maybe trying to play a little like earlier. Oh goodness! It could be an accident here. Oh my goodness, we saw that almost happen live. The 95 came down into the pits. The 14 was also coming into the pits. And that could have been an accident that took out both your leaders, as I think we'll see the 47 of, actually the 38 of Baseman or the 47 of Dash is going to take over the lead here. So that it looks like Baseman's going to take over the lead, as the 95 and the 14 almost get into an altercation in the pits. So that could very well hurt their chances of winning this race, as they were coming into the pits. Had to get slowed up, and that might push them back in the standings because, you know, slow into the pits and all that stuff. So we watch the 95. He's down and away. 4 tires and fuel for him. He is going to beat out the 14 of Liz Has Nothing. We'll try to catch up to who possibly could be leading this race, as we see a bunch of drivers jumping out of here, jumping off into the pits. 00 Mudbone, again, just heartbreak for him here today. Led 26 laps, falling to 2 laps down right now, running behind the 88 of NM. 710 Arati took over the lead. Mudbone's trying to get around that 88, and NM is just like, I don't know about that. I think I should hold you up a little bit. We might have had I heard some scufflage watching the 544 Frederick Winklebaum as he goes around again. So they went, some of these drivers went 24 laps, and they've got 24 laps to go. You see some damage on the right-hand side of the 42 of Mel Say What. So Mel, a little bit of damage there on the Liquid Molly Dodge for Team Raining Tacos. Watch her down here into the turn. You can see that heavy damage on the right-hand side. I don't know who she got into an altercation with. Probably the 544, knowing the 544. I don't think there's any damage on his side, but we'll check. Try to catch up to who could possibly be leading this race, and it might be Roddy. There is Roddy right there. He's coming out onto the track in front of the 13. I'm guessing... I don't know. I think it's the 95 of Zed Brunna. Catch up to the 95 here as he's about to put a lap on the 8 of Moon Bunny. So we're letting the timing and scoring figure out itself and whatnot. I believe your leader is the 95 of Zed Brunna. So Zed has put a lap on the 666 of Pistol Pete, your points leader. We are showing Mudbone with only one lap down now. So let's go through your current top 10. Your leader is the 95 of Zed Brunna. Second's going to be the 14 of Liz Has Nothing. Third will be the 38 of Baseman, if we can find him. There's the 38 of Baseman. Fourth will be the 3 of Geek Girl Games. Fifth will be the 420 of Queen of Hearts. Sixth will be the 66 of Hondo. Seventh will be the 47 of Dash. Eighth will be the 25 of JTM. Ninth will be the 356 of Ice Cream Some Days. And rounding out your top 10 will be a 13 of King of the Aces. So it's a battle back here with the 544, the 710, the 42, as they're trying to get around the 544, Frederick Winklebaum, and move into the 11th position. Frederick was able to take that away from Mel. Mel, again, with that right-hand side damage, she might be a little bit off the pace as a result. As the 660 of Garrett Miller down to the inside and around her. So we see the 25 and the 356 and the 13 hooked up here. They're going to work to the inside of the 47 of Dash. Dash makes it a great run down the front stretch. As they work into turn one, he is able to stay in that position, even though they had a 3-car draft right there. So again, that high line off of 3 and 4 is basically the one to beat. As they run down into turn one, it looks like Ice Cream and Coda are going to be able to get a great run down into turn one. That's going to push JTM back here. I'm going to try to catch up to your leaders here. As we see Mudbone has pitted. He's come back out. He should be able to finish this race out. As we see Liz is now stuck at the top of the track, getting passed by all these lap cars. I'm going to try to catch up to that 95 of Zed Brunna. There he is on the track running 3.1 seconds up over the second place, the 14 of Liz. And the question on everybody's mind right now, can they go the distance? I know that I think it was probably 24 or 25 laps that they ran. And you got to start thinking about fuel conservation here, as we're right at that cutoff as to 1 lap or 2 laps on this tank, and you might not be able to make it here. So you got to start thinking, do I need to conserve fuel? But it doesn't look like Zed is conserving fuel. It looks like he's got this hammered down, actually. And he is running 3.9 seconds up over second place. So, I mean, if he ran out of gas in turn 4, he could coast to the finish, I think, at this point. We still got 16 laps to go here at Darlington for this Darlington 74 with your leader, the 95 of Zed Brunna. He's looking to put the 333 of Keeping It Twisted a lap down. New driver there for Douche Motorsports. Rookie on the season. I think got a couple rookies in Hondo and Keeping It Twisted. Check back through this field. We'll see where that 14 is, and she is just sitting right there in front of the 777 of Seabass right now. Again, she's now 4.4 seconds back from the 95 of Zed Brunna, with Baseman about another 3 seconds back from her, as 777 of Seabass works down to the inside right here. He's going to get a good run into 1 and 2. He's going to make that pass easily, as trying to catch up to the 38 of Baseman right there. He's 6.7 seconds back from the 95 is Zed Brunna, and he's about 3 seconds up on Queen and G3 right now. As we see a couple lap cars battling with the 3 of Geek Girl Games, so the 11 of TC Roberts and the 88 of NM, both a lap car here. As the 00 Mudbone, again, 2 laps down, just heartbreak. You just got a feel for the 00 Mudbone. He definitely had the car to beat here today. And whatever happened underneath the hood for that mellow yellow Dodge for Amish Buggy Racing, just heartbreak for him here today. 13 of King of the Aces currently runs in the 6th position. And they've got a lot of laps before they could catch up to, or a lot of time before they could catch up to that 95 of Zed Brunna. Lots of racing going on back here as we see the 77 of Zip, who is trying to put his car into the top 10 for Amish Buggy Racing, currently in the 12th position. They would like to get a little bit of pointage here on the day. And yeah, because, those all-important team points this season, I feel like, as MBR had a 4-season win streak in the team standings, and Amish Buggy Racing, now the 660 of Garrett Miller, who I forgot about, in Amish Buggy Racing, he is now trying to get into the top 10 right now. He's actually in the top 10. He's going to put both of these drivers potentially into the top 10. We'll run back up here. We'll catch back up with your leader, the 38 of the 95 of Zed Brunna. See how he's doing, as the 38 of Baseman has now caught up to the back bumper. The 14 of the Liz has nothing, with about 11 laps to go here at Darlington. These cars about 5 seconds back on your leader, the 95 of Zed Brunna. So barring anything unforeseen here today, I would say the 95 basically has this race in the books, as we see him battling here with a bunch of lap cars. These guys are working to try to get their lap back as best they can. And you got to get your lap back. You got to hope for a caution flag, and maybe in the last 5 or 10 laps, you get some kind of insane run to the front. You never know. You never know what could happen. So we see the 95 of Zed Brunna about to put the 329 of Heck of a Duber a lap down. He's trying to put the Duber a lap down here, as this is currently on the track. We're looking at the 30th position is the 329 of Heck of a Duber, as the 666 of Pistol Pete run around the outside of that 95 of Zed Brunna. So this could be interesting in the sense that it could allow the drivers in the back, the 14 and the 38, to possibly catch up here as they battle with this 95. So, I mean, this is great for second and third place, but I don't know. Zed is, I think he realized that. He kind of put the hammer down right there. So Zed is going to have to put this hammer down. They have knocked off 2 seconds over the last couple laps off of this lead, as we see the 29 of Wishbone Attack working down to the inside of the 95. As we head down into turn 1, that's going to be a good run for the 29. He's going to be able to get around. Probably, I was going to say the 96 might be able to as well. Looks like the 96 is going to make that run. Here comes the 777 of Seabass. So the 96 works to the inside and around the 95 of Zed Brunna. He's going to try to work and get his lap back here again. In case there is an issue, in case there is a caution flag, as Zed takes over the top amount of laps led here. So Zed does now have the most laps led here on the day. Looks like he's going to let the 203 and the 777 go. He's still 4.3 seconds up over second and third place with about 6 laps to go here at Darlington. All those drivers work to get their laps back. And again, like I said, caution flag could be the best thing that could happen to some of these drivers now that they've got their lap back. But it's been pretty clean racing here today, with the exception of what we saw on the right-hand side of Liz Has Nothing, as we see the 38 of Baseman. I don't know if he has enough laps left. I don't know that Baseman has enough laps left to catch the 95 of Zed Brunna, but he's darn sure going to try. He is down to 2.4 seconds back from the 95 of Zed Brunna. It looks like the 420 of Queen of Hearts has passed the 14 of Liz Has Nothing, moving her up into the third position. And G3 right there, there's a 13 of King of the Aces. This could be a very, very, very good day for Aces to Zed Motorsports, as they currently have three drivers in the top 10, high into the top 10. I think, well, King's in sixth here, and if he could catch up to G3, as I'm watching these laps tick down, and not only are the laps ticking down, but the distance between Baseman and Zed is also closing, as he's now only 1.6 seconds up over the 38 of Baseman, as Baseman is now almost into the same frame as the 95 of Zed Brunna. What is this Pink Panther Toyota for Amish Buggy Racing have left here at the end of this race, as we see Baseman is now to the back bumper of the 95 of Zed Brunna, as they head down the front stretch with just a handful of laps to go. It is now a battle for the lead between the 95 of Zed Brunna and the 38 of Baseman. Zed had pushed. I don't think he's got the car here at the end, as we see the 38 of Baseman working down to the inside of the 95 of Zed Brunna. They head down the backstretch into 3 and 4. So Baseman, we see, as we watch the battle for the lead, the 420 of Queen of Hearts with 2 laps to go into the pits, taking over your lead here today. The 38 of Baseman, he's looking for I think it's his first win of the season after sitting out a year, coming back, starting his own team, Groovy Green Racing, taking over the lead from the 95 of Zed Brunna, is going to be that 38 of Baseman. And you have to wonder if the reason that he is so much slower is he's got to conserve fuel. I believe we're going to see, we've got oh goodness, folks, this is going to end it. We've got a yellow flag out on the track. They're coming down to take the white flag as well. That's going to end it, folks, as Baseman takes the yellow-white flag going into turn 1, barring running out of fuel. I think that's going to be it for this race here today at Darlington as they come around. So Baseman is your leader after taking the white and yellow flag here today at Darlington. Looks like there was a caution on the track, and that's going to finish this race out under caution, as they're going to catch up to the back of the beautiful orange and black Dodge Challenger pace car. Looks like that caution involved the 51 of AJM. Not sure who else was involved in that. We'll find out. But coming down onto the front stretch, your winner here today at Darlington is going to be the 38 of Baseman, coming back after a year off and starting his own team now that after Kager Racing closed its doors. The 38 of Baseman is going to win this race here today. And in actually spectacular fashion, he was able to run down the 95 of Zed Brunna from 6 seconds back. And I think Zed was in fuel conservation mode right there at the end of this race. He was I would say 1 lap, maybe 2 laps from going out of running out of fuel. And heartbreak though for also the 51 of AJM and the 799 of Mike Check, as it looks like it's going to be a lot of people retired from this race as a result of that caution. Let's actually see what brought out that caution real fast. As we see the 33 of Harvey Jones, they should be all pulling into the pits in just a second. But let's see what brought out that caution. Well, this caution is going to be brought out by a very overzealous 00 of Mudbone here. We're going to watch this happen. From the roof cam of the 356 of Ice Cream Some Days. From the roof cam of the 33 of Harvey Jones. Finally, from the roof cam of the 42 of Mel Say What. So again, let's go through your finishing top 10 today, as there was a lot of people scored out of this race right there at the end. Let's go through your finishing top 10. Your winner, again, is the 38 of Baseman. Second's going to be the 95 of Zed Brunna. Third will be the 14 of Liz Has Nothing. Fourth will be the 13. Third will be the 14 of Liz Has Nothing. Fourth will be the 13 of King of the Aces. Fifth will be the 3 of Geek Girl Games. Sixth will be the 77 of Zip. Seventh will be the 710 of Roddy. Eighth will be the 660 of Garrett Miller. Ninth will be the 544 of Frederick Winklebaum. And rounding out your top 10 will be the 47 of Dash. That's a look at your finishing top 10 today. Interesting finish to that race here today at Darlington. The track too tough to tame, apparently, for the 00 of Mudbone, as he caused that race-ending caution right there. Next week, we head to New Hampshire for the New Hampshire 60. So I'm looking forward to that, as always. Let's take a look at your team and your current points. Let's take a look at your current points. Got to look at those. We'll see where everybody is running. Pistol Pete finished a lap. No, he didn't finish a lap down. He finished actually in the 21st position after that late race caution. So we'll see who's leading those points. Great day for Aces to Zed Motorsports, with a few drivers there in the top 10, and Amish Buggy Racing also had a couple drivers there in the top 10. So you're seeing your team and chassis standings. Well, that's going to do it today for us here at the Darlington Raceway for this Darlington 74. Congratulations again to the 38 of Baseman. He is your winner after coming back after a year off and starting his own team. Congratulations to him. And until next week at New Hampshire, take care.